What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some very key levels to watch for as time goes on, as we're seeing some new developments on the charts. Not to mention a big warning I have for tomorrow, because we have some important data coming out. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposits $2,000, you're guaranteed 30, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, so as far as the market's going, we've been selling off quite a bit today. We saw SPY lose that support around that 572.5 area, which opened the doors for the 568 and 565 areas. So far, we're seeing buyers trying to hold us around 568, but SPY is still looking kind of weak right here. Now, despite the weakness, I do want to mention that we still technically have been making higher lows. We haven't lost this yellow trend line yet to turn really bearish. If we lose that, then yes, we could turn even more bearish. We're looking for a bigger dump. If we hold this, there's still hope for us to try to bounce, so just keep that in mind. Now, with this happening, I just want to say that I do have a warning for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday, March 27th. Keep in mind that an hour before the market opens, we have some important GDP numbers coming out. We have the GDP growth rate, GDP price index data, and our initial jobless claims. This may cause some volatility, so we'll see what these numbers end up looking like. So please keep that in mind if you're holding anything overnight. The market might try to gap up or gap down tomorrow, depending on this data. Besides that, we had Kashkari from the Fed giving a speech. He caused the market to dip a bit because he was talking about how uncertain the Fed is. And then there was other factors as well involving tariffs and such. But with that being said, what's going to likely happen from here? Well, honestly, it depends on if SPY could hold 568. If we don't hold this from now up until tomorrow, we're going to likely be dipping to this gap fill area around 564 to 565. It also aligns with this trend line right here. So that's the more bearish case. If we manage to reclaim 572.5, we could try to bounce and make a full recovery. For now, we're looking to see this trend. We might retest this trend line and try to bounce. I'll be looking for that since there is still weakness on the chart. So we'll see just to be safe. On the QQQ, it's the same thing. We have this trend line where we bounced. Now we're trying to test it again, possibly. Keep in mind, if we can't hold above 485, we're likely going to be dipping to fill this gap near 480. If we reclaim 485, we could try to bounce, so we'll see how it ends up going. Nice accumulation-like structure. We'll see if we dip and bounce from here, so give it some time and be very patient nonetheless. But there's going to be a risk of us dipping lower, and we'll have to see what that leads to, at least for the time being, as we have an unfilled gap. The Russell's also looking kind of weak. We have to see if this could hold 205. If not, it could be dipping to these new lows around 202. If we reclaim 207, we could try a bounce. Otherwise, we still look a bit more bearish. On ES, we're looking weak here. We're looking for the support right here around the 57.25 area. If we end up reclaiming 57.80, we'll have to see how it goes. We're making higher lows right now, and we're trying to make higher highs on ES. So we'll see how it goes. But overall, this is not looking that great. We kind of rejected off this upper resistance. We'll see if this support holds on ES. I'll be watching that very closely, so be patient. Same thing with NQ. Now we have a gap to fill, so I do think we might be dipping towards 19,975. But then we'll see if we bounce off this trend line. For Bitcoin, we're trying to make higher lows. If we could hold 85,000, we're going to see if we could bounce or not from here. If we lose this, we could be dipping towards 84,000, so I do see a risk of that downside. Nvidia is a little bit weak. We were supposed to hold 114 to 115, but we haven't held this. So this is going to be at risk of dipping towards 111 and also towards this gap down at 109. So there's some weakness on Nvidia. If we can't reclaim 115, we're looking for a dip towards the 110s. Tesla's a little bit weak as well. We need to see this reclaim 274. Otherwise, this is favoring a move towards 264, if not 260 in this range down here where these EMAs happen to be. I do think we're going to be testing them, and we'll see if we bounce or not off of that. Apple is going to be likely testing 219.94. If that fails us, we dip lower towards 215. If we hold that area, we could try bounce. We'll see. I do see a little bit more downside. Coinbase might be dipping to fill this gap. If we can't get back above 195, we're favoring 190. I think there's a good chance we fill the gap before it tries some kind of bounce move. Amazon has to hold 200. If not, we're going to be dumping to fill the gap towards 194. So keep that in mind. Meta is also showing some weakness. We got a rejection off 635. It needs to try to hold 605. Otherwise, we could be dipping to fill this gap near 596. For Microsoft, we're kind of bearish here. We have an imbalance down here. If we can't reclaim 391, we're going to be favoring a push down towards 385, so be careful. And for Google, we need to reclaim 169, otherwise we're favoring a move down to 165. So be careful, guys. The VIX is elevated. We're seeing it trying to break higher, so that's a bearish signal for the time being. I'm going to end the video from here, so I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day, and just know that we have a lot of important data tomorrow before market opens. So if you hold anything overnight, be careful. Until I see you guys again in a couple of hours, have a good one, and peace out.